Hello, people. How's it going? Well, I really shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a bookstore. I shouldn't be allowed anywhere near a bookstore. When I have money, particularly when I have money. I like books. I have an addiction. I have an addiction. I am not seeking help. I like my addiction. And the drugs, or other illegal activities. And yes, I do read all these books. Yes, I do really do read all these books. As I said so. Yes, the usual Pokeball. And myself wrong. On my days off, I could run in my hot chocolate. Or my tea, hot tea. Anyway, I know I don't talk about the movies I buy. Anyway, but this is the latest film I bought. Downfall. All dramatic, accurate, and harrowing. By the Chronicle, nominated for an Oscar for the best foreign film, Downfall. Takes you to Hitler's bunker during the brutal, harrowing last days of the Third Reich. Seen through the eyes of Hitler's secretary, Trudel, young optimism crumbles into grim realization and terror, and it becomes clear that Germany's defeat is inevitable. Yeah, sure, it was. As the Russian army encircles the city, the dimly halls, the underground refuge, showing an execution chamber for the Fuhrer and his closest advisors. I've never seen this film. I've always told how good this movie is. And, this is probably one of the top 10 least over two films on the subject. But I don't talk about the movies I buy. I do have DVDs. But look at that. Academy Award nominee, best foreign language film. Anyway, if you knew where I put my movies. Anyway, I read this book a long time ago. If I remember correctly, I liked it. The medieval world, by the 14th century, Western Europe had become irrevocably separated from Byzantium and Islamic civilizations. The Crusades, the rise of the Roman Church, and the fixed boundaries of the new national states had closed the open society of the 12th century. A period of change and permanence in Europe, 1100 to 1350. I like Middle Ages is a very interesting period. My friend Lydia likes to study Middle Ages. Keep that passion of hers alive. She's about to turn 18. Known her for a while now. She's a good kid. She likes history. She also is the one I sent that the cup. My degree in history makes me qualified. Judge everyone. I sent her that for her birthday. But it's an older book. It looks like older than I am. 61, yes, it is. It's 2 years older than I am. But anyway, the Middle Ages is a very interesting time of history. It wasn't, don't watch too many movies where the Middle Ages is really described very well. Hollywood is an interesting reality. Anyway, I've got my favorite poet, Robert Burns. I already do have a biography of his. I wanted to get his book up to poetry. He's an interesting guy. Very interesting fellow. Very earthy. Very lustful. Very fleshy. Very, let's just say that old Robert couldn't keep his eyes off the ladies. He fell in love a lot. And lost a lot. But it's one of those penguin classics. Penguin classics make very good books, by the way. They are very good books. This version and the other version. I have another copy of one that's a different version. I do like Robert Burns. He's an interesting guy, the tender hearted. I forget who the author is. That's the biography of him I've read. I've read it at least twice. I've heard of these people. Don't ask me to explain who they are. I'll just read. The story of the relationship between Abelard and Heloise is one of the most celebrated and tragic love affairs. It is told through the letters of Peter Abelard, a French philosopher and one of his greatest logicians of the 12th century, and of his skeptic pupil Heloise. It was written passionate writing and pulls the story of his romance from the reckless, ecstatic beginnings through to a public scandal and enforced marriage and its devastating consequences. These eloquent and letters express a vast range of emotions, adoration, devotion, reproach, indignation, and grief, and offer a fascinating insight into religious life in the Middle Ages. By the way, Tolkien and his wife, these are the nicknames they gave each other. The only thing about Tolkien, I've never seen the movie. The movie won Best Picture, if I remember correctly, as it says in here. It moves your eyes so you can see that. I've never read this. It's a classic. It's also a Penguin classic. So very much worth having. Always interesting these subjects. Never be afraid to read things. There's the other version of Penguin Classic. No clue. I when I see these books, I buy them. It doesn't even matter what the subject is. I will gobble them up because they are. I like this editions of these books. I like the editions that these are. I like the Penguin Classics and that in this version. They're all Penguin Classics. I like this version better. A little better, not much, but a little better. Anyway, what I do, I'm always looking out for. I have a lot of these Penguin Classic books. All various subjects. Some of the titles that they published, I doubt anyone ever heard of. Interesting though. Books are my obsession. Yes, I do really need all these books. And then we have Ian Jones. I have his book on the Plantagenets. Very good book, by the way. The epic history of the wars for the Holy Land. More than 1,000 years, Christians and Muslims lived side by side, sometimes in peace and sometimes in war. When the Christian army seized Jerusalem in 1899, they weren't Christian armies, I don't care. They were opportunists trying to seize control of something that they really had no chance of actually holding on to. It began the most notorious period of conflict between the two religions. Depending on who you ask, the Holy City was either an inspiring legend or the greatest of horrors. The Crusades, you can wear the religious robes all you want. You can tell me this is a Christian endeavor all you want. You can tell me all you want. This had anything to do with Christianity, as in the Bible. And I'm going to say you're wrong. Sorry. It was human beings trying to seek glory and honor and money and wealth and trying to rescue the Holy Land from Islam and this, that, and the other. And I'm sorry, it had nothing to do with Christianity. The Catholic Church and politics and a whole bunch of other things. By the way, the Kingdom of Heaven is historically terrible. Do not watch this now. Well, you can watch it, just realize that pretty much about 90% of it isn't accurate. So it didn't even happen. The Orlando Bloom character was born in Holy Land, and he died there. He never left. He was never in France. Anyway, the poor plant is being destroyed. Poor plant. Let's see if I can see it. My poor plant. The poor plants. Well, most of I need more plants. I always need plants. Anyway, onto one of my favorite subjects is Japanese literature. I lived in Japan for 2 years. Okay? Well, Okinawa, Japan. But I still lived in Japan for 2 years. I liked it there. So it started my love affair of all things Japanese. Basically the history. Yeah, I'm aware of the First and Second World War. Thank you very much. I like Japanese history. Not all of it. I love the writing. The writing is what I like the most. I like the storytelling. I like the Japanese way of looking at life and death and everything in between. But this is from the earliest eras of the mid-19th century anthology of Japanese literature. Originally published in 1955. That's 45 years ago. You get the idea. I like Japanese stuff. Kawabata is probably one of my favorite authors. Probably my favorite story of his, probably my favorite Japanese story overall, is The House of Sleeping Beauties. It is a very good story growing old, or growing older, and looking back on life and realizing everything. It is an excellent story. I know the title sounds like it should be an erotic fantasy, but it's not. Actually, it isn't. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff, sir. Excellent stuff. This is the third book in the trilogy, the Liberation trilogy by this guy. He does a very good job. I mean, he wrote The Army at Dawn, War in North Africa, 1942 to 1943. The second book, The Day of Battle, The War in Sicily, Italy, 1943 to 1944. Then this book, the third one, that was in last night, The War in Western Europe, 1944 to 1945. He's a very good author. He's a very good author. He's also writing a trilogy on the American Revolution. But he's a very good author. Very excellent author. Get that shininess out there. Okay. But yeah, it's also one of that few other books. Yeah. I can do that if you can. You can always stop it and read the whole thing. He is a very good author. Very good author. Then my third favorite classical music composer, Felix Mendelssohn. I have not read this book. I don't know as much about him as I should have, and how I'm going. This book is big. I didn't realize it would be this big. I didn't realize it would be. I thought it was going to be half. Oh, this thing is huge. This thing is in the 600 pages. But I like Felix Mendelssohn. I like Beethoven, Mozart, and then Felix. I saw a Jewish guy. He wasn't Jewish. You think being Jewish, I put him first. No, sorry. Ludwig is always first. Yeah, Beethoven will always be first, and then there's Mozart. I got into an argument with somebody on my YouTube channel, their YouTube channel, I'm saying that Beethoven was the greatest. He didn't think I had a right to say that. So I repeated it. He was the greatest. Twice. One more. I have this guy's book on the British Empire. This is the Savage Wars of British Campaign in Africa, 1870 to 1920. He's a good writer. He's a very good writer. I haven't read this book yet. I mean, if I see an author who I know, I will buy it. I mean, it's just automatic. I've ordered other books. They haven't got here yet, and I didn't want to wait. So I have ordered 3 of them should get here this week, and the other 3 should get here next week. This is what happens when I have money, and I'm near a bookstore. But anyway, that is the books I bought since the last time I did this video. Did one of these videos. I have a lot of books, people. I like books. People don't read enough books. That's why we have the messes we have, because people don't read. They rely on a little screen to tell them instead of reading. Yes, I need all those books. Anyway. Well, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Behave yourselves, people, because you know I'm not going to.